So Harpoon is a really exciting business run by a fellow named Bill Nyland, who is an incredible entrepreneur. We really like Bill, and the reason is Bill had an interesting company that he was the founder of prior called Vapotherm, and we love it. You know, you always hear the phrase serial entrepreneurs. Guys that are going at it again, they just like I did in my career, they tend not to make the same mistakes they made the first time. So they're very seasoned, and Bill has done a spectacular job building up Harpoon Medical. And the reason it's such a great success story, I think, for TEDCO and for the Maryland Venture Fund, so this gets back to what I said earlier, the synergies of TEDCO and the Maryland Venture Fund. Harpoon Medical was started by a fellow named Dr. Gammy at the University of Maryland a few years back, and when they needed some seed capital, one of the sources they went to was TEDCO. And TEDCO made a seed investment in Dr. Gammy's company and Bill Nyland's company to help really get it off the ground, that very early stage of investment. Fast forward a year or two and they needed some bigger capital. Maryland Venture Fund came in and invested in that business to really help expand the business. So this is a great example of the synergies between TEDCO and Maryland Venture Fund, and why Maryland Venture Fund makes sense to be partner, part of TEDCO. Fast forward to today, Bill and his team and Dr. Gammy have a very exciting business. In fact, it's so exciting, it attracted investment from Edwards Life Science, which is a $20 billion market cap public company. What they do is mitral valve replacement, and the unique twist in their product is you don't have to open up the chest cavity to fix the heart. You can do this thing, go in underneath the rib cage and do it all remotely. So it's an incredible advance forward for patients. The recovery times are much less, and where they are in their business now is they've been successfully doing these surgeries in Europe, and assuming it all goes very well, this is a company that an Edwards or a big medical device company could purchase one day. So it's a great local success story, and not that many people know about it. Graybug, another good example. Graybug was started out of Johns Hopkins, and Johns Hopkins has some incredible technology, and there's a person there who I have a lot of respect for, Christy Weiskell, who was hired a few years ago to really unlock a lot of that Hopkins technology. Hopkins always had a reputation a decade ago, 2 decades ago, of being great technology, but nobody could access it. And Christy and her team at Johns Hopkins Technology Ventures have really started to unlock some great assets that these great researchers at Hopkins, these discoveries. And Graybug fits that exact example. So a fellow named Justin Haynes, who is a thought leader in the eye field, ophthalmology field, came up with this technology for Graybug. It's a drug technology they're going after, and they're going after this market, macular degeneration, which is a huge issue demographically. When you get older, if you don't treat this, you go blind. So the outcomes are very serious. And the current state of the art to treat this is a shot in the eye. There's a public company called Regeneron that has the market leading product. And if you look at Regeneron's sales each quarter, it's massive. It's approaching $1 billion a quarter, $4 billion a year. And there's a few other solutions on the market. And you have to give this shot in the eye every month or every other month. Graybug's technology will be a huge leap forward if it proves successful, where you can do 2 shots a year. So it's hugely effective for the patient, just like Harpoon Medical's is a big step forward. So Maryland Venture Fund is invested, and what we're so excited about, we were able to attract a world-class CEO, a fellow named Jeff Cleland, who had taken another biotech company public. Most importantly, because these drug life science companies are so capital intensive, much more capital intensive than a Harpoon Medical, you got to raise big money. And we were able to attract around this deal serious money from Deerfield Management, Claris, and Orbimed, who are 3 of the top tier life science drug investors in the country. So we were able, out of this company that came out, had its genesis at Johns Hopkins, And through the work of a very solid person down in North Carolina who is involved in a fund called Hatteras Ventures. Her name's Christy Schaffner. She's the chairman of Graybug, and she put some early money in along with Maryland Venture Fund, and she really gets credit for bringing this syndicate of world-class investors to this company. So they raised a $44.5 million Series B round of capital early spring in 2016, and the company is off to the races. So those are two great, hopefully, local success stories, but they're hitting all their milestones so far and doing very well.